Okay, unscheduled, but another quickie. I've made a video in the past about the smear campaign tactics against me since I've been whistleblowing for the last decade, particularly the last 5 years. And there's a paper trail being attempted to be created, one of which somebody added me to a Satanist group. I sometimes put out my email address, and my email address was used to add me to, I don't know if it was the Temple of Set or the other big Satanist group, but anyway, they added me. But more alarming was I was added to a group, and it may have been in the days when on Facebook people could add you to groups without your invitation, you know, without you being invited. But I was added to a group called Stripes. And when I looked at it, horrendously, it was for people that wanted to role play about sadism, spanking, you know, something that Harvey Procter was alleged, many MPs were alleged to be involved with, and something that is one of the fallouts from particularly the British public school system, where corporal punishment, was associated with sexual pleasure, and even in some of the films, Angela's Ashes, I think, and some of the other films, they talked about the Christian brothers giving the children horrific beatings and actually deriving sexual pleasure from the same. But anyway, I was so alarmed at being added to the group. Before I removed myself, I followed some of the links, and one of them led to a website, and you could go in a layer, and you go in a layer, and it showed the membership, and the invitation was you had to submit some video footage of yourself engaging in spanking or being spanked in order to gain access to the next level of entry. And clearly I didn't do that. And then the website also featured real life events that they held, and it included a lot of school teachers, by the way, and a lot of sort of upper crust kinds of people. And one of the events they had was, and I'm very alarmed about this, and I bet it still goes on, was special cruises where there would be all these older people into into sadism, and lots of children, gifted children, playing the cello and playing the piano and so on, which corroborates Esther Baker's testimony in a lot of ways, and other victims, survivors. And so we also heard about Disney cruise ships going to Epstein Island and then offering snorkeling trips and so on, which would, and that clearly, and Ghislaine Maxwell is a submarine pilot, and around Epstein Island was all geared up for underwater access, submarine access. So you've got Disney cruises, and so this dodgy website featured, one of those cruises, and it also featured weekend parties where people of like-minded perversion could gather. And they were very alarming. Now, this is just a website. This was not the dark web. This was a website. It was totally and utterly shocking. And it featured things like somebody in the Philippines saying she could provide the children for the weekend away. There was somewhere in Wales, a regular sort of stately home venue. There were skiing trips, basically a party circuit for these people into that particular perversion with children. And if you listen to the recent interview of a survivor called Darren by John Wedger, who was a children's home survivor, he talked about the physical violence being very much part of satanic ritual abuse. So did Jeanette in her interview with John Wedger. talk about that torture movies, torture porn is very popular, and the real thing is also a profitable endeavor. So there were the cruises, there were the holidays away, and there were the levels of entry. So I couldn't get past the second page, and I wish, in fact, I did screenshot, I did. But I think by the time I came to make, I was very alarmed, and I think I just put a Facebook status up. I removed myself from the group, and I put a Facebook status up saying, whoever the fuck added me to the Stripes group, it's disgusting. You know, don't add me to groups. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to blog what I saw. I'm going to blog, because I started to join dots with testimonies from survivors. So I thought, I'm going to blog. I went back to the website, and lo and behold, it was locked down. It was locked down, so you couldn't get past the first page. And it said something like, we'd like to emphasize this is simply a role play. A role play group certainly doesn't, you know, the activity doesn't translate to real life, something like that. The same thing that was trotted out by Seth Green and Claire, his wife, is it, that Isaac Cappy disclosed about. I think Seth's defense, he didn't deny having a secret room with children's things and beds and paraphernalia. He said, oh, my wife and I role play in there. We have a thing about pretending to be children. It's part of our sex life or something like that. But so yeah, so when I went, but I still did do a blog about the Stripes Academy thing. What I want to show you, the reason I've jumped back, am I recording? Yes, I am. The reason I've jumped back is because as I went to share the last video that I just put up about fun facts and global good, guess what? I'm still in that group. I must have been re-added. I think 3 times I might have removed myself, and I'm going to live show you me attempting to leave that group again, just for evidence and for the record, and out of sheer disgust. So screen share, done. Facebook, now watch this, right? Share in a group. All right, I'll just type random A, look what comes up, Stripes Academy. Now I'm not gonna share in Stripes Academy, but now let's see if I can find it on my Facebook. So I'll go cancel with that, and I'll look for Stripes Academy. Look at it. First thing that comes up. Joined. Look at this. If you fancy getting away, oh my God. Right, I'm going to show you again. Maybe they made a second page, because I've left this group, I don't know how many times, and this is possibly to set me up. Right. Let's have another little live look on the 24th of May, 2020. Walks around the school. Jason Days, Christine Lupus. I'm having problems getting onto Stripe's website. Let's see what they say about that. I'll take you there again. I am too. It's still down. Build and cultivate your own community. Ning.com. I can't log in. Wolves is down too. I want to go to Paris for my half-term weekend and stay in a posh hotel. I bet you do. How can I get to Paris? You can check if anything is likely to improve for us soon by visiting Ning's Facebook site. I've just left a comment there expressing the frustration of members on everyone's behalf in the visitors' comments section. As someone says there, we pay good money to use the Ning platform, and having just upgraded is particularly annoying. This is happening right now. Now, this is a group. Thanks for your patience. For the Paris trip, I suggest we cut out the scene on the flight from the airport. We've had quite a few plane scenes in recent weeks. So I would suggest if we get back on soon, we start the Paris holiday straight away. So assume you've arrived in Paris and just post at the Hotel de Louvre. Use the top right-hand search box to find Paris category or specific locations, including the hotel accommodation, one of the penthouse apartments for the honeymoon couple, of course. I'll be adding the tabs for Paris as soon as I have access again, which I'll be checking for every 15 minutes. Now, disclaimer, if this group is nothing to do with the website, if it is indeed simply a role-playing group, so be it. It didn't look that way to me. And if there are any good investigators out there, police, please look into this. Okay. Oh, here we go. We've tried pinging Stripes Academy spanking -ca website using our server, and the website returned the above results. Stripes Academy Spanking California ning.com is down for us too. There's nothing you can do except wait. Probably the server's overloaded or unreachable because of a network problem, outage, or a website maintenance. Stripes Tramlines and West Side Grove. I'm so glad I jumped on and did this. They don't sound right. Look at these people so panicking about not being able to access it. It's enough to make you superstitious, this happening on Friday the 13th. It's working again. Right, so it is. I'll do the Paris tabs. Looks like it's gone down again. Message says it's under maintenance. I bet it'll go down after me putting this out, I promise you. Let's just have a look here. Sign in, you see, it never used to be like that. Term 2020. If you're not a member, click here to sign up. And I'm going to go out of there. It's all very connected with schools, which links up with what the Hampstead children were saying about there were 9 schools that they knew of in their locality that were participating. Anyway, so we'll just go a little bit further. Join our virtual roleplay community and relive your school or college days. Stripes Academy spanking. Christmas, New Year, and Epiphany. This is a full-on club. Is Stripes Academy still going? Brian, 14th of January. 3 comments. Yes, there's a link. Thanks, whereabouts is it? The link's below. Scroll down. Come join the fun. This is so just... Aberdeenshire, United, oh, that's maybe not a location. I'm always looking for ideas and inspiration for my next novel. I'm sure you are. Ning, look for that Ning thing as well. The first of our 4 summertime terms. For April Stripes schools and the colleges. Oh yeah, a lot of them are teachers that go on these things during the school holidays and take children with them. Right, newcomers may join us at school camp or register at the school office. Dear God. Somebody please, I did appeal when I first talked about this. For this to be, my uncle has suggested having Miss Teak taken for a psychiatric evaluation after the phone call he just received. And as for her putting us all on the Saturday caning list, I agree, she must be nuts. These are people, at the very least, that get off on reenacting caning and spanking and so on. But as was documented part of the evidence found in the raid on Harvey Proctor's, Sir Harvey Proctor, ex-MP, convicted paedophile. Part of the evidence found in his home were the bloodied school uniform, including underpants of a schoolboy, a child, bloodied underwear, and a school uniform of a child. And yet nothing was done, and Harvey Proctor still goes on television screaming about the police and the public and the victims being liars and incompetence. It's our 10th. So they've been going since 2008. Stripes opened its doors as a school for adults on Facebook on June 10th. So they're probably going a lot longer than that. The school website was created later that year on ning.com. Stripes Academy spanking.ca.ning.com, with some of the action encouraged to take place there from as early as Advent term 2008. In 2009, 2010, the main action continued to be in the Facebook group, where the number of threads representing many locations in and around the school grew to getting on for 1,000 over time. In early 2011, unaccountably, Facebook shut our group down. I bet that was somebody reported. It wasn't me that far back. Somebody else obviously saw what I saw. Anyway, this forced us to make the decision to move to the Ning website permanently, with all the action pretty much taking place there since then. Much of the material from the earliest days of our Facebook presence had already been copied over, although quite a lot was lost when they shut us down overnight. We did come back here to Facebook, but merely as a means to publicise the existence of Stripes Academy on Ning. The spanking interest. We continue to be careful to keep our spanking interest a relatively mild one, as was explained to Ning, and which they accepted when they decided a good few years ago now to lose their so much more obviously pornographic sites. Do you see this, people? When they decided to lose their so much more obviously pornographic websites. So this lot very much watered down and said, oh, we role play spanking, that's all. My God. Our ethos has, in any case, always been to avoid Miss Whiplash type scenarios. There are plenty of pay sites all over the net where you can find the sort of cheap thrill, which for the most part we eschew. These are upper echelon people. I recognized one name from my friends list and I quickly removed it. A very, very wealthy person. The uniqueness of Stripes. Stripes Academy is a continuing drama in which all of us write our own scripts and video them and send them in, and then meet up and then go on cruises and then go on weekends and Paris excursions and skiing with children. A community our characters may come to on a daily or more occasional basis. The concept of Wales in the world, I think it's based in Wales. I'll show you the cover photo. I think that's where it's based. Sets us in a particular, quote, fictitious location in Britain, but within a genuinely wider international setting. We avoid the cheap thrill in favour of a modern setting, albeit with a rather fairy tale, but historically attested situational background story that allows us a freer reign than if Northwest Wales had remained in the United Kingdom. The succession of Penryn Stripeog ac Anwen from the UK on St David's Day 2008 provides the backdrop, sorry, my Welsh is non-existent, for our, quote, everyday story of spanking folk, and has for 10 years allowed the realisation of an enduring online community of role players. There is reason to celebrate. It's making me feel sick going through this. Easter holidays. Anyway, so this is what I'm going to do live on this video is leave this group. And if I find myself added again, I am going to go ballistic with Facebook. That's not it. Where's the leave group option? You're watching me do this. Leave group. Do you want to leave Stripes Academy? You damn right I do. And anybody find support. You can report this after searching problem. Spam, harmful or offensive. What would I say? Feels unsafe. Feels unsafe for children. It won't make any difference. Fear of still, no, it's not that. Unwanted communication, maybe. I don't know what to put it as. Oh, fuck it. Yeah, it feels unsafe. Next, let's see if they give me a block. All right, thanks for your feedback. Feels unsafe, unwanted communication. Right, that's the best option I could find there. But if Facebook monitors my work, you know, I hope I don't get a ban for doing that live. Well, it's not even live yet because I'm Zooming. But anyway, people, that's just part of what could be a setup. And at the very least I've done that process many, many times, removed myself from that group and just find myself back in it. So there you go. And I please, you know, if these people are organizing cruises, obviously by me going public with them, it's going to be very hard for an undercover detective to infiltrate that group. You know, and in order to infiltrate, they would have to submit a spanking video to implicate themselves, and to get to go on the live trips where children are brought, you probably need to submit quite a compromising. Clearly, I'm not going to do that. And if there are undercover detectives that do that kind of undercover work, kudos to them. But if the possibility of infiltration is not really on the cards, would somebody in that kind of a sick, perverted group please get out, repent, and come forward and blow the whistle, especially on the children being used? Thank you. Angela'sCashes.org. Angela Power Disney, please like, share, and pray.